I know. Korg? Let's test this baby out.
Hello and welcome to my review of the MW-2408. Now let's start off with the fact that Korg created a sound console, which is very bizarre coming from a company who's really known for creating some of the best synthesizers and the most renowned synthesizers. I mean, Korg is renowned when it comes to synthesizers and everything related to it. But now they've come out with this thing, the MW-2408. So the goal of this review is not to tell you about all the technical specs about this console. I think there's a bunch of other videos that can do that for you already. What I wanted to test was straight out of the box, what can I do? So basically, I took this console out of the box, I plugged it in, and I had Jeff come in, and we recorded this short video that we're about to show you of a song he wrote. So everything you're about to hear is coming straight out of the console. This console does not have the capabilities to do individual recordings. It only has a stereo USB out, which I use to record first the drums, then the bass, then the guitars, the vocals, and the keyboards. I have to warn you, this is not going to sound like a studio polished recording. This is going to sound very live because of the way it was recorded. So I'll let you watch the video clip first, and then we'll go through what I experienced using this console.
A hollow shell till things got overwhelming. I think I lost my way till it all took a hold on me. Coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the end slowly, fogging up my mind. Coming through the sky, I feel the end slowly. We're wrong, so say goodnight. I guess I'll keep my thoughts out of the way. Now I know every single mistake. No, at least now I know this can't be therapeutic. Well, anymore with me gone, now everything's okay.
So the first thing I noticed when using this console was that the aux 3 and 4 were actually headphone outs, which is very unique and something you don't typically see in these types of consoles. Actually, it's so unique that I didn't even catch on at first and didn't understand why I wasn't able to send any signal through the aux channel. I actually plugged it into another console to use as a headphone out, and then figured out that the aux 3 and 4 were actually headphone outs. So a simple turn of the knob onto the phone's level, and you had your headphone levels. What's also interesting is the use of the inject from the left-right mix. So if you want, you can have some of your own mix coming directly through, and then add just a little bit of that left-right channel just to see what's going on in the mix. Another thing that I thought was very interesting is these one knob compressors, which I'm actually using right now to compress my voice. I'm actually talking through this mic plugged in directly to the console right now that I'm recording through this. Everything you're hearing is coming through this console right now. Now, another thing that's very unique about this console is the effects. It is typical for these types of consoles to have effects, but what's not typical is to be able to control the settings of those effects. Usually in other console, it's a one-size-fits-all type of setting and you get what you get, which is fine. But Korg has actually pushed it one step further. So if you look over here on the console, we've got the DFX. So when you select it, this will appear on the screen. This correlates with your effect sends over here, which are the red knobs. So right now I've got it set on the reverb plate. So what you can do is you can press select. Now it's selected. And if you want to edit the settings on it, you can edit the time on it, and you can also set the dampening on it. So if you want to cut the highs a little bit more, then you have the option of doing that. So let's test it out. I'm gonna run some vocals through it just to hear some of the reverb plate, what it sounds like. So here's Jeff vocal put in solo.
I think I lost my way till it all took a hold on.
Now I already put some reverb when I baked it in, but we're gonna add some more and see what it sounds like.
I think I lost my way till it all took a hold on me. Coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the
So that reverb's maybe a little too long.
Slowly fogging up my mind. Coming through the sky, I feel the end slowly. Slowly you were wrong. So say goodnight. I guess I'll keep my thoughts out of the way. I
So that sounds
think I
good.
lost my way till it all took a hold on me.
So let's solo the drums and see what it sounds like with that plate reverb as well. So let's try maybe another effect. Let's maybe try to hall reverb. Let's go with the warm maybe. And then you can go into the edit again. I've selected it. So again, we have the 5500 millisecond setting that we had, the same on the plate reverb. So this is the raw. Again, that's a little too much. Sounds pretty good, right? So in terms of reverb, it's pretty versatile, but you also get delays and other effects such as the chorus, a flanger, get an exciter, sub bass. I'm not going to go through all of them, but let's just test the delay because you also get to tap the tempo. So here's the acoustic guitar in solo. Pretty cool. Maybe not an effect I'd use for an acoustic guitar live, but kind of tells you what it can do. Let's test it out on the vocal actually.
I think I lost my way till it all took a hold on me. Coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the end slowly, fogging up my mind. Coming through the sky, I feel the end slowly. Slowly, I think I lost my way.
So there you go. Another unique thing about this console is the fact that you actually get digital, not only effects as I just demonstrated, but you also get digital dynamics and equalizer for the master bus. So let's test this out as well. So let's run the entire mix through to the stereo bus and let's try to use some of the settings on the master bus compressor and the EQ.
I think I lost my way till it all took a hold on me. Coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the end slowly, fogging up my mind. Coming through the sky, I feel the end slowly. I think I lost my way till it all took a hold on me. Coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the end slowly, fogging up my mind. Coming through the sky, I feel the end slowly. I think I lost my way till it all took a hold on me. Coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the end slowly, fogging up my mind, coming through the sky. I feel the end slowly, slowly. I think I lost my way, till it all took a hold on me, coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the end slowly.
So as you can tell, there's a bunch of dynamic effects you can use, and you don't only need to use it on the left, right, you can also use them on the aux 1 and 2, which can be very useful if you're using any type of amplified monitors and for the EQ to suppress feedback. As you can see, there are different types of limiters and compressors that you can put on the main left, right channels. You can also use them on the auxiliary 1 and 2. You can also EQ the main left, right, and the aux 1 and 2 as well. You also have the option of having a spectrum analyzer, which can be very useful for finding feedback. Actually, speaking of feedback, another awesome tool on this console that I didn't get really the chance to use, but it's the feedback suppressor, which for live venues, people who don't have that much experience using a console, who don't necessarily have the know-how how to use everything and understand how feedback works, this is a tremendous tool. So I noticed in my mix, there might be just a little bit too much 250 in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the song, and I'm going to play with the 250 hertz. So you just select your band, and with the knob over here, you can turn it down or you can turn it up. So let's play the song and let's hear what it sounds like with less 250 in it.
I think I lost my way, till it all took a hold on me, coming through the sky, fogging up my mind. I feel the end slowly, the end slowly, fogging up my mind, coming through the sky. I feel the end slowly, slowly. I think I lost my way, till it all took a hold on me.
So there you go. A lot more cleaner in those low mids. So overall, I had a very good time testing out this console. I think it's very interesting and it can be very useful. But what is it useful for and for whom? So right off the bat, this is not a studio console, just by the fact that you can't record all the tracks individually. However, this does not mean it is not powerful and that it's not useful. I imagine this console being very useful for small venues and clubs that don't necessarily always have a sound engineer on hand, but need somebody that can use the console, and a console that's easy to use. This console would also be very useful in a rehearsal studio. This console could also be very useful for podcast and live streams, considering it has already the compressors in it. You got all the nice EQs, and you also have line ends for anything else you might need. For a podcast, having all the compressors for the voices can be very useful. And there's also a bunch of other line inputs for anything else you might need to punch in there, and for sound effects, for playback, or whatever you need. And since Korg is renowned for their synthesizers and keyboards, this could be an amazing as a summing mixer for keyboards. Often as a live mixer, I get keyboard players that have different keyboards, and they'll sum them together themselves and have their own balance and just send me a stereo to the front of house. So overall, despite having a lot of options for this type of console, it is very versatile and easy to use. It can be useful for a lot of applications, and I would definitely recommend it. So I hope you found this useful. This has been my review of the Korg MW-2408.